to the first episode of the Cayeluhb podcast. That sounds really weird to say. So basically, what this is going to consist of is a few of my friends, and eventually, if this starts to grow, anyone who likes can send me a question, and it can be anything as deep as is God real, and it can be anything as light as who are your favorite musicians. Right? It can be literally anything. And I'm just going to take the time to answer them and really just talk to myself and really explore these questions. So the first question for today is, tell me about yourself. And this comes from everybody. There's not one specific person, but I figured this would be an important thing to go over before I really started and delved into everything. So my name is Cayeluhb. I am a senior in high school right now. I live in a town that is closer to New York than California. My favorite color is a light blue. I really enjoy playing Terraria. It's probably my favorite game of all time. I release music on this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Cayeluhb, Cayeluhb, and I also stream Minecraft, Rocket League, chess, anything on twitch.tv/Cayeluhb, Cayeluhb. We're very close to 100 followers right now, so that's very exciting. I like to make music a lot. I'm playing in 2 bands right now. I'm in an advanced choral ensemble. Should be in an advanced wind ensemble, but that's not meeting right now due to COVID priorities. That's pretty much about me. I've got 1 dog I live with, in addition to 4 family members. I drum, play keys, play guitar, could play bass, and I sing. I actually had my singing auditions for college in these past 2 weeks, and I will hear back soon, so that's very exciting. And I also run, and I've actually thought about making a podcast similar to this for running, where I just, I think it's a pretty cool idea. Like, half of it would be me talking about running alone or with a guest, and then the other half would be actually a conversation while out running, and I think that would be cool. So yeah, that's basically me. Physical profile, I'm 5'9", shredded, obviously. 220, 0% body fat. I'm closer to 145, but I'm very into fitness, very into staying safe, very into running, and I don't really know what else to say. I'm very into fashion. That's pretty much me from a basic perspective. I am religious. I believe in God. I'm a Catholic. That's me in a nutshell. So we have 4 big questions today. And our first one comes from my friend Jack. And Jack asks, how do you gain confidence? So we can go right down to the science of this, right? Where you can link happiness with confidence. Where if you are happy, you will be more confident, right? And vice versa, if you are confident, you'll be more happy. So scientifically, it comes right down to this release of dopamine, right? What can you do that can healthily release dopamine that will make you more confident? And this is why, like, when someone goes out and gets drunk, and when someone's high, because what that is doing, what the alcohol and what the drug is doing, is releasing an unhealthy dopamine all at once. You gain a lot of confidence from that, and that is why, drunk people will say certain things and act a certain way. And that's the same way for people that are high, anyone under the influence. So right down to the science of it is this release of dopamine is how you gain confidence. So I really think that in order to answer this question of confidence, you need to look at, first of all, what are you trying to be confident in? Second of all, how can you be happier in order to be more confident? So number one thing I always say, it's helped me a ton, for people who are struggling with confidence or with dopamine, is exercise. Exercise is huge release of dopamine. Here's what I do, right? And this is not for everybody, right? This is a big deal. This is difficult. It's hard for me, but wake up at 5 a.m. Don't eat breakfast. Go upstairs. I have like a semi home gym in my attic, and I just work out and I grind out for about an hour, and then after I'm done with that, I put on running stuff, run a mile, come back, eat food. Then I've got practice like 3 hours later, and it sucks and it hurts and you feel like you're gonna vomit like throughout the entire thing, and you get back and you're exhausted for the rest of the day. You got to take a nap, which is fine. I mean, taking a nap is fine. Um, but on those days in particular, I have noticed I've been much happier and much more confident in myself when I'm out when I'm out early and when I'm working out. I find I have a lot more confidence. There's a lot of other things that can build confidence, right? I really like this question from a few standpoints. First of all, from a physical appearance standpoint. If you get a haircut, it will change the way you feel about yourself if you like that haircut. Because I mean, for a guy, I know guys don't want to hear this, but there are two things that matter in terms of physical attraction to guys, right? It's hair and it's muscles. And I know that sounds. I mean, obviously, that's not everything. There's personality, there's eyes, there are a lot of other factors. But a lot of people that I've talked to will tell me that hair and muscles are the two most attractive things they see in a guy. So, a haircut that you like, and make sure it's a haircut that you like, not a haircut that other people like, not a popular haircut. Get something that you like. And I promise you, if you like that, if you like looking in the mirror and seeing that haircut, you will be more confident. You will be happier. And the other thing is, from a fashion standpoint, start dressing, right? Start looking in the mirror and saying, like, what would I look great in? And put an outfit together and put that all together and, be out there. And the thing about fashion and confidence is it's a two-way street, where in order to pull off some more questionable looks, right, you have to have confidence. And that's actually what runway modeling is all about these days. I mean, you see the shit that they put out on in like terms of high fashion, like what Rick Owens or Ian Connor is doing. Well, probably not Ian Connor, but he's a rapist, so who really cares about Ian Connor? You look at what like high end fashion is putting out, and it's just like any normal person that wore this would look just so uncomfortable and would not look good in it. But you look at these models who just have the most confidence in the world that what they are wearing is the best piece of clothing that has ever existed, and they're just gonna strut their stuff down the aisle, down the walkway, not the aisle. The aisle is for weddings. I mean, they make it work, and sometimes it doesn't always work, just because the clothing is so ridiculous. Like I don't know about high fashion sometimes, but yeah. I mean, I think that's definitely a two-way street. In terms of wearing something that makes you look good will give you more confidence. But if you are going to wear that, you need to have the confidence to pull it off, because otherwise it's just going to leave you less confident, right? If we're talking about, I know a very common discussion, high school boy is talking to girls and having the confidence to talk to girls. You gotta practice. Like, it's just like anything else in life. You get better with practice. You have to practice talking to a girl, making full eye contact, right? Having a conversation and just learning how to talk to people. And it might just be having confidence talking to anybody. And you just got to practice it. You got to practice talking to this person, talking to people, making eye contact, and just really letting them talk, really listening to them. And I mean, that's a huge confidence builder. I really do think that is up there. And then in terms of other confidence builders, do stuff you like. Find something you really love doing and that you're good at. And then do that. Like for me, I know I'm not the best music producer in the world, but I'm alright. I make stuff that people enjoy. I know I'm not the best content creator in the world. I know I'm not the best streamer, but I love streaming, and I love the effect that I have on other people. And I'm good at it. I'm not the best. That's that much is obvious, but I really enjoy it. And I think I'm good at it. I like to think I'm good at it. I like to think I'm good at a lot of things. I like to think I'm good at running, even though I'm not the fastest on the team, and that's okay. I like to think that I'm good at, playing guitar, but I know I'm not the most technically skilled person. I know I don't know all the fingerings for different chords. I know I don't know all my scales, but I enjoy playing guitar and it makes me happy. Um, and I mean, yeah, I think that is a huge thing for building confidence is finding something you really like and just doing it and not giving a shit what maybe I should say not giving a shit at how good you are at it, right? About just throwing that aspect of it out the window and just enjoying playing, and just enjoying doing whatever it is you're doing. I think that is a huge, huge thing for building confidence. Um, yeah, I mean, I could talk more about that, but let's. I mean, I think I gave a pretty thorough answer there. So let's move on to question three. So question three comes from my good friend Connor, and Connor says, "Is it bad to be sad and not know why?" So this is a really good question, and I think it's something that honestly at some point everyone has experienced this. I know I have. I've gone through it. Um, let me tell you guys a story. So being a very religious person, right? I I lead retreats a lot. In the church, I lead a teenager retreat that we go on every year. It got canceled this year, unfortunately, which I was really upset about because I love it. It's my probably my favorite place. Excuse me, favorite place in the whole world. Um, and the first time I went, when I was a retreatant, when I was being like a student, I wasn't a leader. I was really enjoying it. Right, I loved it, and I just felt sad on the second day of the retreat. It's a 3 day retreat, and I just felt sad, and I didn't know why. Right, because I was having a great time. I was enjoying myself. I just felt sad, and I had no idea why. And you know what? That happens sometimes. It is okay to feel sad and not know why. But the problem is the problem comes if you are continuously sad and not knowing why, right? If you are constantly sad and you don't know why, you need to look on some subconscious pressures that are eating you up and you don't even know it, right? That you're not even aware of. So I'm trying to think of a good example for this. Okay, here's a good example. A few of you know this, a few of you don't, but when I was in the second grade, I was diagnosed with PDD-NOS, which stands for Pervasive Diagnosis Disorder, or not diagnosis, excuse me, Pervasive Development Disorder, not otherwise specified, which is a high functioning form of autism. So I am slightly autistic, um, but not to the point where I would have a para everywhere I go, and not to the point where it restricts my movement or something like that. I'm just a little restricted socially. Sometimes I have trouble making eye contact, little stuff like that, and like it's gotten to the point where I sometimes even forget about my diagnosis, right? Where it's just like I don't know, like I'm a good talker, obviously. I'm pretty good at that. I'm a pretty comfortable guy in general. I'm very secure in myself. I wasn't in the past. It took a lot of work to become secure with myself. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I just don't really think about it. Like I'm a very sociable person, and but sometimes it'll come up and surface, and you don't realize, but you realize when it happens that you've just been letting this eat you up, and you haven't really been giving it the time of day you need to and the attention you need to. Um, so that's I think number one about being sad and not knowing why is probably there's something in your subconscious that's eating you up, and you have either just not addressed it or you haven't even thought about it. And that's how anxiety works, right? It's just little stuff that builds up and builds up and builds up, and it's like it's bottling it in, and then it just slowly eats away and chips away at you, and then you'll just be sad when you should be happy, and that's no fun. Um, when I'm an actor, so like I'm in musicals, I'm in plays. I was in a musical my sophomore year, um, and the musical went really well. I really enjoyed it, and because of my diagnosis, because of my autism, my emotions are often amplified, and performance for me is something that really really brings out those emotions. So being in that performance really just brings out a lot in me. And it really just gets my emotions in a mess. And we had the rap party after our last show, which is basically the closing night. And I don't know, just out of nowhere, I got just a huge wave of sadness, and I felt really alone. And I went outside and was just trying to be by myself, and then there were people there, and then like I went back inside and sat down, and I started crying. And I mean, it was brutal. I Looking back on it now, I don't know, it was embarrassing, but it needed to happen at some point. I needed to have that breakdown to reset myself. You know, it's fine to not be fine. I guess is something that I'm really trying to put across here. It is okay to not be 100%. But it is not okay to take what is making you sad for whatever reason. Um, it is not okay to just let that sit down and burrow and nest in you, because if you do that, it's only going to get worse, and it's only going to affect you and the people around you, and that is something that you definitely want to avoid. Um, so I think it's definitely not bad to be sad and not know why, but it's certainly something that you should address. It's certainly something that you should try and figure out, because that's your own mental health, and that's definitely something that's important to take a look at and see what's going on. Um, and I mean, remember this for everybody listening. Even if you think there's not a single person on this earth that cares about you, I promise you there is someone out there who is deeply affected by you. And that doesn't necessarily mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say there is someone who loves you, because for some people that might not be true. But there is someone that you have deeply affected in your life. I guarantee that. You might not even know it happened. It could be the littlest thing, but in some way you have changed a person's life so drastically that they can never go back to the way their life was. So no matter what, there are always people whose paths you cross. And because of that, there are always people whose lives you affect. And there are always people who will care about you because of that. So remember, in order to survive this crazy life, right? We're kind of living in a screwed up place right now. I think everyone's a little sad and not knowing why. And I think the reason why is, we've all been cooped up inside our house and forced to follow these rules, and then we see people ignoring these rules, and it's very frustrating. And then we see the government officials ignoring these rules, and then we see our government falling apart, and it's a lot. It's hard to deal with. And I mean, even no matter what side you're on, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of stuff happening that's in your mind from a global standpoint. That's a lot, you know? All of us have so much on our minds right now that it makes sense that some of us would be sad and not know why. So I'll leave that question with this. It is okay to be sad and to not know why, but it is not okay to not talk about it. All right? So moving on from that. Question 4 comes from my good friend, my Twitch mod, Nate, who asks, who is your hottest friend? So, I don't know. This one is gonna take some thinking, right? So I'll just use this as a segue to introduce some people who might potentially come on as guests, who I would like to come on as guests, who have asked if they might come on as guests. So first of all, anyone who's asked a question in this episode, I think has some interest in becoming a guest, and they would be more than welcome. So I know Connor's interested in being a guest. I've already talked to him about that. So I think Connor would be a great guest. I think Nate would be a good guest too. I think maybe my friend Justin would be an excellent guest. I think he has a lot to talk about. I know my good friend Ursula had mentioned it, and I think she would be a great guest as well. Um, but in terms of hottest friend, I mean, obviously that's got to go to Justin. Actually, you know what? It's a tie, right? It's a tie between the two speediest runners in the county. You got Justin and you got Tanner. Tanner being your all SEC individual champ, all state runner, and Justin being your all state runner, all state runner, SEC individual runner up divisional. So I mean, I don't know. They're both two pretty sexy men. So um, I don't know. The problem with Justin is that he's taken and that he's correct at Fortnite, my guy. I'm not gonna do the moan, but I think that was pretty funny. I think that was a good segue for me. You know what? That actually reminded me. Before I go on to my last question, I wanna just mention this a little bit. I have been asked to get a TikTok for public public. Oh my goodness, what's the word? Publicization? I don't know if that's a word, but for advertisement purposes, right? Where I would maybe post like Twitch clips, where I would maybe post like little podcast segments, and it would just like draw more viewers. And so here's my view on that, right? I think it's a good idea, but the problem is I have not downloaded TikTok yet because I know if I do, I will waste all of my time on that app. I already wasted enough time on Instagram. I already wasted enough time on Discord and Snapchat. I guarantee you I will waste all of the free time I have on TikTok. Um, but I don't know. I probably think I should get one just for purposes of um of growing the channel, of growing the podcast, of growing the Twitch. I think I probably should do that in the end. All right. So, last question comes from once again Jack, and his question is, "How do you talk to girls?" So I'm probably not. I'm probably not the best person for this question, honestly. Um, my experiences in the female department have not been ideal. But I think in terms of talking to someone from a relationship standpoint, I think that there are a few very important things that you need to do. The first is have energy, and really be interested in what they're saying. Really be in the conversation, be attentive. But don't have too much. Like find the happy middle where you're not overbearing, but you're also understanding what they're saying and finding a way to relate to that. And I think that's a really big thing is relating to the person, because I think that's a great way to generate conversation. And I really think that in order to really keep a conversation going, you need to find just an easy way to relate to someone and something that you can talk about. The second thing I think is really important. I think this is the most important thing, is do not sacrifice the person who you are to become someone that this person is attracted to. Even if you are madly in love with this person, right? Do not change who you are for them. This is something that I've had a major journey with, and it was very difficult to go through that. And I think because I've gone through that, I'm a lot stronger and as a person, and I think that makes me, all of my experiences have culminated to the person I am today. And I think the only reason I'm really doing this podcast is because I'm good at talking, right? I think anyone could really sit here and have these same ideas and say what I say, but I just think I'm good at articulating them because I have a lot of practice with articulating the ideas, be it on stream, be it in conversation. I think I have a lot of history with the articulation of ideas, and that's why I think I am qualified to do this. That's why I think I'm good. I'm by no means the best. I'm by no means the worst. I might be the worst. I don't know. Definitely not the best, though. But in terms of talking to girls, being yourself is number one. In terms of starting a conversation, ask questions. It can be something really simple. It can be like, hey, I saw you, like, here or there or somewhere. Like, what's up with that? and then start a whole conversation based off of that. The other thing I think is people put a lot of pressure on asking someone out on a date, right? And I think that the modern way of asking someone out over text or Snapchat is silly. I think really the best way to ask someone out is in a conversation in person with them, right? After, you've started a good conversation, you say, hey, we should go get, like, coffee at some point. Like, do you want to go grab coffee with me on Sunday morning and we can talk about this? Because, A, right, it is a lot more personable. It is a lot more comfortable for most people to be asked out in person in a casual conversation rather than in a big display or rather than in an Instagram direct message. Because first of all, you've got a person in front of you, right? When you are just texting someone, it is very easy to let someone down. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying, everyone needs to get rejected at some point. I think that's really important. I think that's a very important learning experience to get rejected. I think it really does need to happen to everyone at some point. But I mean, I think your chances will be much better if you ask someone out the right way, which is eye contact, comfort, nice smile. We should go get coffee sometime, And then, that's what it comes down to, is just being comfortable, being relaxed. So yeah, let's actually talk about the physical aspect of talking to girls. Number one is eye contact, right? But not too much eye contact. Don't be creepy, right? So you should look in the person's eyes for maybe 5 or 6 seconds, and then look away a little bit, and then come back and look to them, and change that pattern up a little bit. This is something that I've worked on a lot because this was something that they made me do after I first got my diagnosis in therapy a lot, was practice eye contact in conversations, because I suck at it. I am very, very bad at eye contact in conversations. I'm terrible at it. And it's something I've worked on a lot, and it's something I'm much better at. But a lot of time when I'm talking to someone and I get nervous, I'll look down, I'll look up. I just don't want to look in their eyes because I'm nervous I'm gonna get flustered and say something weird, which, believe it or not, is not going to happen like you think it is. And if that ever happens, you say, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's really not a big deal. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. One, they're just a person, and having a conversation with them in person will really show that to you. Again, it is so easy to view someone as a screen through a screen. Talk to people in person. Really do. It will change your life if you talk to someone in person and really try to understand them and have a nice conversation with them. It will change the way you view everything. So that's number one. Actually, there are a lot of number ones, but from a physical aspect, right? Shoulders down, because when your shoulders are up, everything gets tight. That's anxiety. That's tightening up your muscles. You have trouble breathing. Shoulders loose, right? Shoulders loose and down. Hands in a comfortable position at your sides or in your pockets, right? Don't want to cross your arms. Don't want to do random stuff with your hands. That's weird. You're gonna creep the person out if you can't control your hands, if you can't control your body, right? Relaxed stance. And then just looking at them, and don't be staring into their soul looking at them. It's just like you were talking to anybody else, just looking in their eyes. Big smile, smiling a lot. That's big. People like it when you smile. You are very cute, all of you. Your smile is adorable, and you're beautiful. Look at people in their face. Smile. Talk to them, right? Don't be weird. Don't be awkward. Talk to them any chance you get. And that's, I think that's in a Snapchat how you talk to girls, You can't be scared. You gotta just stay relaxed. Eye contact. Smiles. And really listen and relate to them and have a conversation with them. So, we are 32 minutes in, and I think that's really the golden spot for this, is a half hour. So, that is all I'm going to do today. So, in terms of winding down, if you have any questions, you can email them to the email in the in the description on the YouTube channel. If this is not on YouTube, it might be on Spotify, it might be on any other streaming service. You can email them to dbdcaleb, C-A-L-E-B, dbdcaleb at gmail.com. That's dbdcaleb at gmail.com. Or you can just email the email address in the bio on YouTube. I am Caleb. My Twitch account is twitch.tv/Cayeluhb, Cayeluhb. My YouTube is youtube.com/Cayeluhb. I make music. I make podcasts, obviously. I stream gaming, and I stream chess, which you're probably not interested in, but hey, who knows? So yeah, that's all I have today. This is Caleb wishing you a good day, and thank you for listening. I appreciate it.